And we've got a straight-up whirlwind of space weather. We've got some geomagnetic unrest, which has recently subsided here from a coronal hole high-speed stream. Coronal hole high-speed stream stays. The geomagnetic unrest has left. Massive sunspots. Let's get to it. Here is the closest star in ionized iron plus colorized magnetogram. Top performing region was this region right here, sunspot 3011. The area at the back of it has produced an M-class flare right after midnight today on May 15th. Let's take a look at the geospace. Here's your first geospace magnetosphere movie. This is the last 4 hours. You're going to see a little bit of a subsiding here of the magnetohydrodynamic pressure. The scale showing here is nanopascals. And we saw a reduction of the negative BZ component. In fact, the BZ went into positive territory. We'll get to it when we cover the solar wind. We'll also be looking at coronal holes, sunspots, coronal mass ejections, and more. Anyway, this is the last 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from space. Up to about 12 Earth diameters, that's what things are looking like in the Earth geospace. Let's come down to the ground level. We showed you Earth's magnetic moment from space. Here's Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. You'll see some minor upticks there in geospace delta B. That's changes to Earth B field. The scale shown on this model is nanotesla, which is magnetic flux density. And since it's refreshed, let's let it play through. That gets these videos onto your screen more quickly, as we don't need to edit them. So yeah, there's the last 4 hours. And let's take a look at some more data here as we blast through our daily deep dive on YouTube. So here is the planetary K-index, a measurement of global geomagnetism, and you can see we had 6 hours or so of geomagnetic unrest there. It was all caused by a strong negative BZ component as the high-speed portion of the solar wind coronal hole high-speed stream arrived. So if you look at this moment right about here, you can see this is what was responsible for the geomagnetic unrest, this strong negative BZ signal. It wasn't really the uptick in the solar wind speed that caused it, it was this feature right up here. That's your vertical component of the magnetic field structure. And yeah, current conditions are an elevated solar wind speed here. We're getting a little bit of an early onset coronal hole high-speed stream, 566 kilometers per second, so a major uptick. We saw it as low as 266 on the channel just a couple days ago. So 572 kilometers per second is the current solar wind velocity, solar wind density, 10.5 protons per cubic centimeter. It's not too shabby of a coronal hole high-speed stream. Here's your GOES magnetometers over the past 3 days. And you can see these spiky readings happening here as we go from a higher density solar wind speed to a higher velocity solar wind speed. This is typical of coronal hole high-speed streams. And let's take a look at the heliospheric current sheet next. Earth remains in a North Pole current sheet. Keep in mind that data is nearly 2 hours old when we recorded the video and can change rather suddenly, such as with the formation of new sunspots. So here's the line of sight view. Shows the solar magnetogram. Lots of activity, lots of named sunspot groups. We'll get to it first. Coronal holes. And major coronal holes here rotating through. Trans-equatorial North Pole-oriented ones shown there in green. The sun's B field shown there in blue. Let's take a look at it visually. Here's 193 angstroms from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. There you have it. Great imagery there. And again, there was an M-class flare. There was an M-class flare right about here. That's not showing up super well in this wavelength. We'll show you a better one momentarily. Next, looking at detected sunspot groups and flare probability. Flare probability still very, very high, especially from sunspot 3007, which is beta gamma class. Sunspot 3010 definitely capable of producing major flares. It's beta gamma class. And Sunspot 3011 already produced an M-class flare. Again, it was on the trailing end. It was way back here near the limb. Certainly capable of producing major flares, it is also beta-gamma class. Likelihood of major flares still very, very high. And you can see as many as 9 named sunspot groups there in the past day. Here's a visualization of it. It's 1700 angstroms. That imagery is from just yesterday and today. Things were largely stable here in terms of sunspot structure over the past 24 hours. Let's remind you to check us out on BitChute. So yesterday we put out our videos on all 3 of our video hosting sites: twitch.tv/smashamash, bitchute.com/smashamash, and YouTube, where you're watching this. Do you find it interesting that we see about, 6, 7, 8 times as many views on BitChute as we do on YouTube, even though YouTube is estimated to have about a billion daily users? Don't you find that kind of strange, especially with all the interest currently going on with space? I find it kind of odd. We've got 151 followers on Twitch, so make sure you check us out over there. We stream live every day at twitch.tv/smashamash. If you want to get interactive, you can drop us a line over there on Twitch. By the time you saw this video on YouTube, there would already be 2 videos on Twitch. Next, thanks to members of the Smash team, especially Gold and Silver level Smash team members. And if you join at the Gold annual paid-up subscription, you get complimentary merch. It's the best value. You can check out details at smashamash.com/smashteam. Also, if you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter if you like. It's certainly not fixed. The censorship is just as pathetic as it's been. But yeah, a whopping 254 followers over there on Twitter, despite 12,000 tweets, and actively using it since March of 2019. The hashtag system is broken on social media. Let me share a fact with you folks. The hashtag system on social media is completely broken. Your subscription feed is likely not showing you the stuff that you're subscribed for because big tech organizations want to manipulate you. If they think that you're on the fence, they're going to try to change your mind for some reason instead of just showing you the stuff that you're subscribed to. Today's featured product is Mensa. Make Earth not suck again. If you've noticed, Earth's been sucking the past 2 years. All kinds of strife, I'll just say, strife has been occurring. By the way, these hats can hold up to the wash. This one just came out of the wash yesterday, and the print is perfectly intact. We've been doing our part to Mensa, Make Earth Not Suck Again, by putting out videos like this one. Thanks to everybody who supported us over the past 5+ years. There's the hat we're talking about. It's very high quality. It's made of polyester, which means it will not break down or hold stains very well. So yeah, and it can hold up to the wash cycle. It's up to you to make Earth not suck again. So help us out with some merch, perhaps. You can find links to that at smashamash.com. So there's our Smasho merch link. You can also find links to the Smash team and the forum and more, like our social media sites. Also a permanent invite link to our Discord chat. Yeah, you need an invite to get to a Discord chat. And there's a permanent link right on our homepage. So welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. Take a moment to press like and subscribe. And now let's talk about the proton flux. It's been flatlined over the past 2 days. That M-class flare early this morning did not cause any relativistic particles to make it to Earth. There is that flare. Peak flux was around 10 after 0 dark 100. Let's take a look at it visually. We've paused the 131 angstroms view. And there you can see that M-class flare in the upper left of your screen. And here's the full Monty. That's all day yesterday and today so far. So it's about 35 hours. It's about a 35-hour SDO browse data view there. And I would remind you to expect additional major solar flares. Don't be surprised to see an X-class flare, maybe even more than one X-class flare. Likelihood is very, very high for major solar flares. So here's a star chart if you're wondering where things are located above head. Head to in-the-sky.org, put in your location. Planetary pileup continues daily. If you're up before dawn, you may get a great show of Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus all rising ahead of the sun. Mercury has now become an evening celestial body. If you've got a low horizon and clear skies, especially if you've got dark skies, you may be able to see Mercury just after the sun sets. And here's a visualization not to scale of the solar system. Let's do a 1-week forecast. Looks like it's full moon day. Full moon day is tomorrow. In 7 days, we'll still have a gibbous waning moon. That's where things will be in a week. Let's take a look at coronagraphs to see if the coast is clear. So on your left, you've got Stereo A's coronagraph located out here at Lagrange 5. On the right, you've got the Soho-Lascaux C2 located out here at Lagrange 1. Lagrange 1. And there have been some minor coronal mass ejections here. Doesn't look like anything seriously Earth-directed. Some far side CMEs happening there, which may make things look a little bit deceptively. And also one off to the southeast, as you can see here on the Soho-Lascaux C2. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the Daily Space Weather. Here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news, we appreciate your tuning in. Again, don't forget to press like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And may that solar wind be at your back.